So this is the sixth part of the using the shell. Every time I'm actually using a shell called bash, which is short for the born again shell. It's the default Unix shell that comes with most Linux distributions. And when the shell starts up, it reads a configuration file that is saved in the system by default. And we can create our own configuration file to customize how the shell works. This file is in the root of our home directory and it's known as .bashrc, and by default you will not have one. So what we're going to do is we're going to change to the root of our home directory by taking CD and enter, and then we're going to create an empty .bashrc file, bashrc. The RC at the end is a common Unix sort of tag that stands for resource configuration, and lots of programs will have their own RC files to indicate that it's a resource configuration file. Now, in the university it's most probably easier for you to use an editor such as Geny, G-E-A-N-Y, and type in .bashrc, press enter. That will open up a text editor. As I'm remotely logging in, I'm going to have to use a different editor, and I'm going to use an editor called Vi. Vi is a non-GUI editor, and it allows us to edit text files when we're remotely logged in. It's incredibly powerful, and I recommend that you should learn one of these editors when you get a chance. They're not the most intuitive or easy to use, but they're far more powerful than ones that rely entirely on the GUI for this sort of work. There are many Unix editors, and many people will have their own preferences to it. I learned Vi first, so that's my preference. A lot of people prefer editors such as Emac or newer ones such as Nano. So I'm going to open up the .bashrc file, and at the moment it's an empty file. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a few commands to this known as aliases. And what aliases do is that they will allow us to call one command but call something else. So my first alias I'm going to add is I'm going to say let ls equal, and notice I'm putting no spaces in here. If we have spaces in there, these will fail. ls minus minus color. So that's saying every time I type in ls, I want you to type ls minus color. Next, I'm going to add another alias, and I'm going to say the command ll, so I'm actually defining my own Unix command now, is going to be equal to ls minus al. Now this has an added bonus that, as I've already defined ls to be ls minus minus color, it will be ls minus minus color minus minus al. Then finally, I'm going to alias rm equals rm minus I. So every time you call rm, actually make sure it's the interactive version of rm. Now I'm going to save this file, and the next time I open up a new shell, this file will be read and these commands will be re-aliased. But at present, as I've not used this file before, and I don't want to reopen the shell, we can use a shell command called source, which will read in a script and go off and execute the commands in the script. So if I type source, I'm going to use a shortcut, which is tilde slash. Tilde slash is Unix shortcut for my home directory, and I'm then going to say bash rc. And if we've got this correct, it should report nothing back. But we can type the command alias in the shell now, and it will give us a list of all of the different things that have been aliased now. So we can see that we've got the ls minus al, we've got the ls minus minus color, we've got rm minus I, we've got a few other aliases which come from the system here, and you can see, for example, Vi has been aliased to Vim, and so on. So now if I type ls, you can see that it's ls in colour. If I type ll, we can see that I get ls minus al in the long format with colour. And finally, I'm going to go into the directory that I created called test.dir, and we can now see that I've got all of my directories that we had previously. I'm going to just create a file called test, and now if I type rm test, you can say remove the regular empty file. It's interactive, and I'm going to say no. If I type rm minus r star, I've just deleted everything because I used the F keyword. The F keyword, I did that accidentally, the F keyword forces it. That's the cutting of the safety net I was talking about. Let me just rebuild the directory again. 148. It's always fun when these things go wrong. And 152. If I now look again, and you'll find, you can see it all there. If I say rm minus r star, it's going through and saying, are you sure you want to descend into the directory of action? No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. Yes, I do. Oh, no, I don't. And so on. So it's working interactively without using the F. So don't use the F command with RM because it forces things to work. So basically we've got the option. If I do minus RF, it will delete everything. Sorry, RF star, we need to pass a command to say what we want to delete. And otherwise it won't. So you now have a safety net.